I'm lying in bed. It's 1 a.m. I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see them. Someone running their own business at 23. Someone documenting their trip through Europe. Someone posting about their fitness transformation. Someone building something, creating something, becoming something. And I'm just lying here watching them. Thumb moving, heart sinking. And this question creeps in, quiet at first, then louder. Am I wasting my life? Not because I'm doing nothing, I have a job. I pay my bills, I'm functional, I'm fine. But fine doesn't feel like enough anymore. Not when my feed is full of people living lives that look alive. Not when everyone seems to be moving forward and I'm just here. And the worst part, I'm not even unhappy exactly. I'm just comfortable. And comfortable is starting to feel like a trap. I think we need to talk about this. About the specific kind of panic that comes from realizing you've been coasting, that you've built a life that's safe and predictable and completely unremarkable, that you wake up, do the same things, see the same people, have the same thoughts, go to bed, and do it again tomorrow, and nothing changes, nothing grows, nothing challenges you. You're not living, you're just existing in a loop, and the loop is so comfortable that you've stopped noticing you're stuck in it. Here's what happened to me. I was lying in bed last week scrolling through TikTok and I saw this person. They're building an app. They're talking about their morning routine, their productivity system, their goals for the next quarter. And I'm lying there in the same pajamas I've worn for 3 days, having eaten cereal for dinner because cooking felt like too much effort, watching someone talk about optimizing their life. And I felt it, that sinking feeling. That quiet voice that says, what have I been doing? What do I have to show for the last year, the last 5 years? And I realized I couldn't answer that question because I haven't been doing anything. I've been maintaining, surviving, staying comfortable. But I haven't been building anything. I haven't been working toward anything. I've just been waiting for what I don't even know. And I think that's the thing about being too comfortable. It sneaks up on you. You don't wake up one day and decide to stop trying. You just gradually start choosing the easier option, the safer option, the option that doesn't require you to risk anything. You stay at the job you don't like because it pays the bills and leaving feels too risky. You keep the same routine because changing it feels like too much work. You hang out with the same people even though you've outgrown them because making new friends feels too hard. And one day you look up and realize, I've been living the same year on repeat. Nothing has changed. Nothing has grown. I'm the exact same person I was 5 years ago, just older and more tired. And that's when the panic sets in. Am I wasting my life? Here's the thing that makes it worse. You see people doing things, real things. Starting companies, writing books, running marathons, learning languages, traveling, creating, and you're not doing any of that. You're working your 9 to 5, coming home, scrolling, watching shows, going to bed. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And you tell yourself, I'm just resting, I'm just recharging. I'll start that thing soon. When I have more time, when I have more money, when I figure out what I actually want. But soon never comes. You never have enough time. You never have enough money. You never figure out what you want because you're not actually trying to figure it out. You're just waiting for the answer to appear, waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for life to get easier so you can finally start living. But life doesn't get easier. You just get more comfortable with not trying. I know someone. We both started at the same point. We both talked about our dreams. They wanted to start creating content. I wanted to make videos. A few years later, they're doing it. They took the leap. They're building something. And I was still in the same place, still talking about starting someday, still waiting for the perfect time. What's the difference? They were uncomfortable for years. They worked during the day and created at night. They posted content that got barely any views. They kept going when it felt pointless. They risked looking stupid. They risked failing. And I stayed comfortable. I told myself I'd start when I had more time, when I was better, when I had something worth saying. But those were just excuses. I was just scared. Scared of being bad at something. Scared of trying and failing. Scared of people seeing me try and not succeed. So I stayed safe. And they left me behind. And that's what being too comfortable does. It doesn't just keep you in the same place. It keeps you there while everyone else moves forward. While other people are building skills, taking risks, creating things, learning things, you're staying still. And the gap gets wider. And the panic gets louder. Am I wasting my life? Here's another thing. You have the same routine every single day. You wake up, you check your phone, you scroll for 20 minutes before getting out of bed. You make the same breakfast, you do the same work, you come home, you watch the same shows, you scroll the same apps, you go to bed, and tomorrow will be exactly the same, and the day after that, and the day after that. There's no risk, no uncertainty, no challenge. Just the same comfortable loop over and over until suddenly a year has passed and you can't remember a single distinct day because they were all identical. That's what being too comfortable looks like. Not peace, not contentment, just stagnation wrapped in routine. And I think the scary part is that you can live like this for decades without realizing it. Because comfortable doesn't hurt. Comfortable doesn't demand anything from you. You're not failing. You're not struggling. You're just coasting. But somewhere deep down, you feel it. That nagging sense that you're not actually living. You're just going through the motions, waiting for something to happen. Waiting for life to start. But life doesn't start on its own. You have to start it. And starting means leaving comfort. And leaving comfort feels impossible. Let me give you a specific example. You want to learn something, a language, an instrument, a skill. You've wanted to learn it for years. You watch YouTube videos about it. You read articles. You think about how cool it would be if you could do it. You download the app. You tell yourself, I'm going to start tomorrow, but tomorrow comes and you don't start. Because starting means being bad at something. Starting means struggling. Starting means spending time on something you might not even be good at. So you stay in the wanting phase, where you can fantasize about being skilled without actually having to put in the work. Where you can stay comfortable in your current abilities without risking the discomfort of being a beginner, and years go by. And you still can't speak the language, still can't play the instrument, still can't do the thing, because you chose comfort over growth every single time. Or here's one that hits harder. You're in a relationship that's not working. You're not in love anymore. You don't have deep conversations. You don't grow together. You just exist next to each other. But you stay. Because leaving means being alone. Leaving means starting over. Leaving means uncertainty. Leaving means admitting you wasted years on something that didn't work. So you stay comfortable. You stay safe. You convince yourself this is just what long-term relationships look like. That passion fades. That this is fine. But it's not fine. You're miserable. You're lonely even when you're together. You're wasting years of your life with someone you've outgrown, but leaving feels too hard. So you stay comfortable and the years pass, and you become more and more resentful of them, of yourself, of the life you're not living. That's being too comfortable, choosing misery over uncertainty, choosing the pain you know over the possibility of something better. Here's what I've realized. The feeling of, am I wasting my life, doesn't come from doing nothing. It comes from doing the same thing forever, from choosing safety over growth, from staying in situations that no longer serve you, because leaving feels too hard. You're not wasting your life because you're lazy. You're wasting your life because you're too comfortable to change anything. And I think what makes it worse is seeing other people doing things, making progress, building careers, starting families, creating businesses, living lives that look alive, and you're just maintaining, just surviving, just comfortable. And you start to wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can I not just do the thing? Why do they have the courage and I don't? But it's not about courage, it's about choice. They chose discomfort. They chose risk. They chose to start even when they didn't feel ready, and you chose comfort. You chose safety. You chose to wait until you felt ready. And that's the trap. You're never going to feel ready. There's never going to be a perfect moment. You're just going to keep waiting and waiting and waiting until suddenly you're 40, 50, 60, and you're still in the same place, still comfortable, still safe, still wondering when your life is going to actually start. So what does leaving comfort actually look like? Because I think that's the question, right? You know you're too comfortable. You know you're wasting time. But what do you actually do about it? And I don't have some grand answer. I don't have a 5-step system. I don't have a morning routine that'll fix everything. But I do know this. It starts small, really small, almost embarrassingly small. It's doing one thing differently today. Not everything, just one thing. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier, not to be productive, just to prove to yourself that you can break the pattern. Maybe it's taking a different route to work, just to see something new, just to remind yourself that change is possible. Maybe it's texting someone you've been meaning to reach out to, not because you have something important to say, just because you've been avoiding it, and avoidance is comfortable. Maybe it's starting the project, not finishing it, not making it perfect, just starting, just opening the document, just writing one sentence. Maybe it's applying for the job even though you're not sure you're qualified, just to see what happens, just to prove to yourself that you can handle rejection. Maybe it's having the conversation you've been avoiding, the one where you tell your friend you've outgrown the friendship, the one where you tell your partner you're not happy, the one where you admit you need help. These things are small. They don't sound life-changing. They don't sound like the answer to, am I wasting my life? But they are. Because leaving comfort isn't about making one big dramatic change. It's about making small, uncomfortable choices every single day until uncomfortable becomes normal. I started doing this thing. Every morning before I check my phone, I do one thing that makes me slightly uncomfortable. Some days it's as simple as making my bed. Some days it's sending a message I've been putting off. Some days it's working on a project for 10 minutes. It's not much, but it's something. And something is better than the nothing I was doing before. And here's what I've noticed. The more I do uncomfortable things, the less scary they become. Not because they get easier, but because I get better at handling discomfort. And that changes everything. Because suddenly, the things that felt impossible before don't feel impossible anymore. They just feel hard. And hard is doable. Here's the truth. You're probably going to stay comfortable. Most people do. Because leaving comfort requires effort, and effort is hard. And staying is easy. So you'll probably keep doing what you're doing. Keep waking up to the same routine. Keep scrolling through other people's lives. Keep wondering if you're wasting yours. And maybe that's fine. Maybe you're okay with that. Maybe comfort is enough for you. But if you're watching this, I don't think it is. I think you know you're wasting your life. I think you feel it every single day. That quiet ache that says, this isn't enough. This isn't what I wanted. This isn't living. And you can ignore that voice. You can push it down. You can tell yourself you'll change eventually. Or you can listen to it and do something about it. Today, right now. Not something big, not something perfect, just something uncomfortable. Just one small thing that proves to yourself that you're capable of more than maintaining. Because here's what nobody tells you. The regret of trying and failing is nothing compared to the regret of never trying at all. You know what keeps people up at night when they're older? Not the things they did and failed at. The things they never tried. the risks they never took, the life they never lived because they were too comfortable to leave the one they had. So maybe it's time to be honest with yourself. Are you comfortable because you're genuinely content? Or are you comfortable because you're scared? Are you staying in this job, this relationship, this city, this routine because it's right for you, or because leaving feels too hard? Are you happy, or are you just safe? You don't have to change everything today. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be brave every single day. But maybe you try one thing, one small uncomfortable thing, just to see what happens, just to prove to yourself that you can. Because the alternative is staying exactly where you are, and you already know what that feels like. You've been living it for years, and at some point you have to ask yourself, is this really how I want to spend my life? I believe in you. Now believe in yourself.